is going to be for
the pressure of like knowing, okay, you're the last attacker. So that's really interesting to see. Now we have the first attack already starting with the third seed match, and Tompinai Empire starting things off with, once again, like always, Michael DP, and he's starting with his, well, almighty Queen Charge Lalo.
His signature. His signature move, I feel this one is. Many people will know from previous Clash of Clans years that he does sometimes have the nickname Michael OP within the community because his Queen Charge attacks are really next level. Unfortunately, slipped up in that last round with the attack, but I'm sure he has everything in place for this one. Love the use of those couple of balloons just to take down the cannon and make sure that once the Queen has taken down the gold storage, she will move into the base towards the scatter shot and the enemy Queen there as well.
Yeah, this is so far looking really good. Like, the damage is really controlled overall on that Queen. Now it's, though, really important that he's like getting his Queen back on track, because the Queen slowly made its way into the wrong direction. He wants to have the Queen taking down the Expo. That would be great. Taking down the Sweeper as well. That would be important. And now the Queen, though, is walking the wrong direction. The next rage is needed. Poison and the Rage. And now the Queen is slowly taking out the Lava Hound. But the question is, where is she going next? I feel like she is going to go for the Bomb Tower and get into that core. And that's where the next wall break is for. Or maybe somewhere else the wall break. Yeah, slowly the wall break is making it into the core from the right side. It was dropped. Now the single Inferno Tower needs to be dodged somehow. And there we have the Royal Champion. That's so many things happening at the same time. The King just was on the map as well. And now the Queen is taking down the next building with the next Expo. And now at the same time the Lava starting. Like, there's just so many things happening at the same time.
So many things going on. The Expo was key there in order to anchor the Queen down towards the bottom, and the Royal Champion moving into that top area of the base just meant the Queen went to that side. Look at all the red air bombs by the balloons, but thankfully it didn't really do too much damage for Michael's balloons, as he now uses the Warden ability approaching the scatter shot. That's the beauty of taking down the Town Hall early on. They will surround that scatter shot, and he still has a freeze and invisibility spell for the back end of the base. Time is often a tricky one with the Lalo, because you tend to send it in pretty late, so you need to make sure your balloons stay alive, and that is exactly what Michael DP has done here. Does he just turn the balloons invisible with the Royal Champion for this Wizard Tower? Decides not to. He's holding on to it as long as possible. The balloons now caught in the tornado trap. There it was to bait in towards the Town Hall, but it didn't happen for Michael because he used the Queen Charge entry, starting things off for Tompinai Empire with the 3 stars. But if Indian Clashers have shown us anything from that last war, I'm expecting them to come right back at this with a 3-star of their own.
Yeah, that Queen Charge looked so clean, I have to say. And one thing which I just cannot get into my head, like, doing a Queen Charge like this, yeah, maybe it's possible. Maybe some people out there can do that as well. But in 8 minutes, like, that was an 8-minute plan. Like, this to me is just incredible. How are those guys are coming up with those plans so quickly? Like, that's the one thing which surprises me and amazes me every single time watching those plans. And as I said, now we have Indian Clashes coming in next, and let's see if they're sticking to their chaos structure, I would say, when it comes into the attacking order, because if like every single of the top 4 teams so far is using always the same attacking order, like player wise. Except Indian Clashers. Indian Clashers are having their same system of when who's attacking. And that's really cool to see that they're saying, okay, we always adapt to the enemy's bases, which is, as long as you can manage this, really good. But sometimes it might be a bit too much, especially with a lot of pressure on the line. So let's see if they can still push this through, because so far their attacks looked amazing. And I already love this attack strategy because I see the log launcher.
And it is Serial that is attacking first. Obviously, he opened with the 3-star in the last war. I always just laugh when you're talking about that as well, Itsu, because team captain Krish Vishnoi said he always likes to go last, as we tend to see, but he will do whatever his team requires. And that sometimes means he has to attack first, which I think is a very noble thing to do. But nevertheless, we have Serial entering the base here with his Ice Hound and Hero Dive towards the scatter shot. The log launcher, obviously meant for the multi-target Inferno, hasn't got any damage onto that, so I'll be interested to see what is actually inside that log launcher to try and get in there.
The lock launcher took so much damage. Nothing was tanking for the lock launcher, and this means the multi-inferno tower with the core. Like, we saw it many times, those multi-inferno towers in the core taken down by the lock launcher. And this is just not how it worked for him. Like, the lock launcher got destroyed by this enemy warden and the scatter shot. And now he really has to work for getting this 3-star, because the multi-inferno tower in that core is going to be a huge pain. At the same time, we have the sweeper still set up as well. That's something which you want to take care of in your beginning of the attack. And now he has to send a couple of loots in, but there are so many red mines already in the beginning. Poison now really nicely placed. Let's see where the queen is going next. Let's see if the queen is going to go for the expo or maybe for the front tower.
Haste? Wow, I don't understand why he sent those balloons, because they actually had no chance of getting to the multi without the haste, given that the sweeper was there. And like you said, there's probably red air bombs there as well. He's actually had to send another pack of balloons, meaning he's very short down towards the town hall. Uses the Grand Warden's ability to assure that, but he is running out of balloons. Multi is shredding the balloons, now moving to that side, and they're still not going to get it. I don't think he can do this with that central multi-target Inferno. And actually, if he hadn't have sent the balloons to that area, maybe he would have had enough to swarm it in the end.
Yeah, but it's about time as well. Even though he has 50 seconds left, maybe he should freeze the multi with the sweeper. That's exactly what he's doing, and maybe that's still enough. I mean, like I said, there's a ton of time still left, and as long as the multi is going down, the last couple of loons with that warden together should be able to take down the arch tower, because the arch tower is the last building standing, and that's something which is interesting, I would say the least, because this entry, you could argue, went completely wrong. Like, the lock launcher opening up way too early, do not taking down the core multi-inferno tower. But in the end, it is still enough. The arch tower is going down on the same time as the clan castle. That attack was just, I guess, a too OP plan for the base to handle, because even though things went wrong, the plan just smashed the base. That was wow, I'm out of words, to be honest.
I am as well, because he swagged a lot of balloons moving in towards the multi. Obviously didn't want to commit a spell because he needed it for the main phase of the Lalo. So very controlled, and just shows how good he was with the lava loon deployment. And like you said, the plan in general, Serial did give the advice to anyone at home that if you are wanting to get to this type of level, sign up for the World Championships. Consistency is key, and he proved it right there, making sure that even if an attack is going wrong, you have to be able to spin things around, because when they are fighting for $5,000 as they are in this matchup, they could not fall behind to Tompinai Empire this early on in the war. So it's all leveled up after the first attack. And well, I feel like we keep saying it's too difficult to predict, because it is. Each of these teams have put up such amazing performances to get to this stage, but we do have one of those players we looked at, Almu Allen, who has a perfect hit rate so far, and he has always used air attacks, different variations, but it's the Lalo that he's attacking with this time.
Oh, he missed this one headhunter. That you can see how slow a queen is attacking when there's a headhunter on her. Like, the attack speed reduction is just incredible. And now we have the queen slowly making her way around that wizard tower, getting into the next expo. Another Kokoloon, like he's using so many Kokoloons perfectly, always being able to trigger those black mines, making sure those healers are staying safe. And now the next wall break, he's trying to get in there, looting out the next hound, like the hound in general. Since so far he only looted out those headhunters and a couple of archers, but now he needs to be careful. A lot of people are using a minion to get rid of those lava pups on your healers. But if he's using a minion right here, it might activate the town hall. And that's exactly where we can see that we are watching a pro attacking, because he's bringing the archer. He knows a minion would have gone to the town hall, would have activated that town hall. The town is out of reach for that queen for the majority of the next phase. So activating that would be a huge pain. So really nice adaptation, bringing an archer instead of the minion.
Excellent insight there into the archer actually locked onto the town hall, but the archer tower thankfully took it down in this situation, and the queen charge is driving in towards the center of the base. No super wall breakers left, so he's not really getting in towards that scatter shot area. And I'm interested to see where he starts the Lalo from here, because the Eagle is right at the top of the base. Once the Queen is able to take down the Town Hall, that's probably where he'll try and just loop everything around the top. He's going to have to start. Here it comes, because we're nearly down to the last minute now.
Yeah, only 1 minute left, but Lalo is quick. So let's see if it's quick enough to finish off this base. The Royal Champion, perfect pathing with this Royal Champion shield, making sure that it's getting into that scatter. Now the back and air defense should be taken care of with this slammer. And now there's only this enemy Queen alive. The only Queen is the last defense. Okay, never mind, she's already gone. So with the rages, this is just such an overpowering attack. He even has a haste spell left just to make sure that this cleanup is happening a little bit quicker with 30 seconds still on the clock. This should be an easy 3-star. He's keep going perfect in this tournament, and that attack, that was a really, really clean Queen charge, especially then like with the Royal Champion transitioning into the Lalo, taking down the scatter. That was beautiful.
That was a 40-second Lava Loon attack. You mentioned it was quick, but wow, that shows to me the planning that goes into the attacks. Just perfect placement of the spells to keep the momentum of the balloons moving forward, because that is a key thing. You need the balloons to make sure they are one-shotting buildings in order to keep the speed moving through the base. And it always blows me away to just see the finer details of the attacks, and it's great to get your insight on things like that as well, Itsu. But it is now down to Indian clashes. They kept the pressure going on to HT Family. They said that, you know, they are going to continue improving as the seasons go on. They are all highly committed to the esports, and they did lose to Existence last year in the final of the fourth qualifier. So this is time where they could get their revenge almost.
Yeah, that would be the perfect time to get the revenge, starting into the new year, starting into the new World Championship as well, which is starting really soon. So we have the next attack coming in, and this is going to be yet another Queen charge, but this time no Lalo, it is going to be hybrid time. So let's see how good of an entry this is going to be. He's going to charge in between of an air defense and a single Inferno Tower. This is really, really depending on the Queen pathing. She might get distracted by the top Archer Tower and is getting into the air defense compartment, which means the single Inferno Tower is out of reach. The single Inferno Tower would be out of reach. So this heavily depends where the Queen is stepping. She needs to go into the single Inferno Tower compartment. Otherwise, this Queen charge, I feel like, is doomed.
Oh, it's touch and go here as well. She's probably going up to the top. There it is. She moves to the Archer Tower, then to the Expo. Probably should loop back down here, but the single target Inferno locks on, and she is going to be stuck for a little while before stepping down. She's not. You're right, Itsu. She moves up towards the top, and the single is continually going to lock on. What does he do here to try and adapt? Using the freeze spells. Perhaps he just hopes the Queen walks around the other side as she does. And if he can get her to the core, he could probably still just, you know, redirect and rescue this. Has another super wall breaker to try and get in there, but he's going to have to wait until the Queen is locked on by the cannon in the Archer Tower before he then sends that wall breaker in. But the healers taking major damage here as well, Itsu.
Yeah, like a couple of red mines, and this would be the end of the day for those healers. Nice Kokulu, making sure the healers are staying safe for now at least. And now the hybrid started. He's just skipping the single Inferno Tower, which is quite interesting. Like, I would have thought like he's going for something over there as well. Now the Royal Champion, early Royal Champion ability. Not sure if that was the right choice, since nothing was actually targeting that Royal Champion. And now the Royal Champion is stuck on that Hound. I feel like a lot of people are saying for hybrid, the worst clan caster to face is like a damage-based clan caster, like super minions. But I feel like the Hound is the worst. Like, the Hound is distracting the Royal Champion for so long, and the Royal Champ is such an important offensive tool in the Queen Charge hybrid attack. It's incredible. But now the hybrid is slowly making it through. Finally, the lava pups are gone. The Queen at the top side. There is not enough damage to take her down at this point, and the hybrid is everywhere. The Royal Champion is just smashing everything on the back end with over 30 seconds left. Judo, this is going to be another 3-star. What are we witnessing right now? Indian Clashers and Tompinai Empires are giving their all.
11 has done it again. He has used the hybrid for the third time in this tournament, and that is the third time he has gained the 3-star. When we asked 11 what the most important thing was for winning in Clash of Clans, he said it was handling the pressure. And I feel he did that incredibly well there, given that his queen didn't go for the single target Inferno, like you said, made sure to finish things off strong, because in a matchup like this, as we've mentioned, they've been here before against, well, it was Existence last year, but now formed as Tompinai Empire. They know what they need to do here. And that is ultimately keep getting the 3 stars, which is what they're doing. Back to Tompinai Empire, though. This is almost deja vu of the last war for Indian Clashers. But let's see if they land on the right side of the coin this time.
Yeah, it is so close. And the interesting thing now for Tompinai Empire is, at this point, they can on their own dictate this match, because we had this with Alternate, where Alternate was nearly always in the lead. And now, on the other hand, we have now Tompinai Empire being like in this situation where they have been most of in the entire tournament, always being able to dictate the speed of the match, or like the explosiveness of the match. And so far, they're doing a great job. So let's see if they can just keep going with that, because they have their next attacker coming in. There's a Black Mine, there's the Tornado Traverse, but he's opening up the blimp quick enough. So now it's all about that he's taking down this Town Hall with those Yeti Mites. And this so far is looking pretty close. The Yeti is slowly making it. Is he taking down the Town Hall? No, the Town Hall keeps staying. This now needs some really, I don't know, magic footwork of that queen to somehow get back into that Town Hall compartment.
Yeah, she's not going to. She was planned to walk around, so he sends the RC in early, which is definitely interesting. I mean, it has to be done to get the Town Hall, but he's not really going to get any value from the RC now, when probably she was planned for a specific area of the base. Now, this is something that Meteor has to be able to hold it together now. When something is not going right, it's easy to let that pressure get to you and fall even further apart. Queen's ability goes off to the clan castle, continuing to send Coco Loons in. You see how important that is, setting off the black and red air bomb there to protect his healers as he moves into the base, but he's struggling already, I feel, at this stage.
There's just so much damage on that queen, and there's only one rage left, and the queen didn't even enter the base just yet. That is incredible. Another rage. So at this point, there are no more rages left for that queen. Luckily, still the healers are not getting targeted by the enemy eagle. And now it's all about the Lalo. I mean, the Lalo has to do an incredible job. We so far seen crazy queen charges. I feel like this time it's all about the Lalo. It's all about the Lalo making it through the back end of his base.
Yeah, and normally, if you are relying on your Lava Loon to take out this volume of the base, you are relying on a lot of spells. The queen goes down. The wall breaker did open up access, and obviously you can see he wanted the eagle, the expos, the queen, probably even trying to bust down towards the multi-target Inferno as well. He cannot really rescue this at all. With the one freeze spell, decides to go for the scatter shot to protect the balloons through the center. This is not what was needed. It's going to be a low percentage Indian Clashers bases holding up in this matchup, with the tornado trap nicely baited to the Town Hall, and they are now in the driving seat themselves, because it is a very low percentage 2-star, given the ferocity we have seen from Tompinai Empire through this tournament, and Mechuau, who has been perfect at this stage prior to this attack.
Yeah, the first phase for him. And we talked about just in the last matchup where the players who have not 3-starred just yet in this tournament were stepping in clutch. And now it feels like the other way around in this situation. So let's see if any Clashers can somehow, push ahead now in this situation, because there was something which they have done always as well. So they always got into the lead, and they always kept this lead over the entire match. So Tompinai and Indian Clashers were kind of similar in this style. So now Indian Clashers have this chance to push ahead, but at the same time, we're now getting closer to this scary 4th position of attacking. And we saw today already that it's really hard, and somehow in a magic way that this 4th position is cursed. And let's see if the 3rd position is maybe working a bit better for those two teams. But so far, Tompinai Empire with React having his first fail, it's obviously not helping a lot. But, well, Indian Clashers going in next. And let's see, maybe they've so far used a lot of Super Witches. Maybe they're going with that. I have to say, if there's a team out there at the moment which is really unpredictable, it is Indian Clashers for sure. And they're going in with, okay, it's Smash, it's a little bit closer, not exactly right, but I would say, I would give me a half a point, okay?
I would give you half a point on that. The thing I would say is Indian Clashers have actually only failed one attack today. This is their 8th attack, and so far they have only not 3-starred on one of them. So definitely the momentum, you could say, is in their side. And with a successful Yeti Blimp on this attack, it's just as I say that, the Queen ability goes off. Again, it's not necessarily the end of the world in this attack, but it could be a big difference maker, really. And he's not going to get the pathing either, I don't think, because he's just sending the troops into this area now.
Yeah, and at this point, I think he's going to be really nervous, because he was the person who he was the player who did fail in the first match. So at this point, he's like, oh no, I have to 3-star, especially for my team at this point. So he's going to try it all, but at the same time, with being so nervous, there are going to be things which are going wrong, I feel like, with so much pressure on the line. But so far, I think he recovered nicely. Warden ability to protect everything, nice jump spell, to get everything into the core, into the back end slowly of this base. The tornado trap, though, is being kind of annoying for those P.E.K.K.A, getting rotated into the scatter and away from the enemy Royal Champion. And the Royal Champion keeps staying behind that wall. And now those P.E.K.K.A need to play War Wrecker to get through that somehow. We have a lot of damage. There's so much happening at the same time, with the Queen somehow still being alive, with no freezes at this point left.
Yeah, he just managed to freeze that single target Inferno. It is really being a pain for not just the P.E.K.K.A, but the Queen. I think he froze at the perfect time, allowed one of the P.E.K.K.A to go down, then made sure to protect the next one alongside the Queen. That's all he could do. RC has gone down. Queen is low in health. He's still got plenty of witches and a wizard on the outside that could still get this done. But with the P.E.K.K.A being stuck on the inside, are they going to be too vulnerable and end up going down? The healer's just not there either. It's difficult to call because he could still get this, but he needs the witches to get through. A giant bomb is there. They will manage to keep away. The super wizard did chain through a couple of the Tesla. He could still get this, Itsu. It's on a knife edge.
Clean up Headhunter all the way, I would say, at this point. It's 20 seconds left with only a couple of beatings left. I think he got this. I think he somehow managed to get this. And this is exactly the reason why you're bringing those witches to a smash attack like this. Those witches are so strong on the back end, especially if there's no splash damage left. And he has done it. He has done it. He's somehow overcome the nerfs. And that was a really great attack, making sure that they get the advantage in this matchup. And now we have Tompinai Empire in the same pressure situation, which we already had them earlier in against Alternate, where Alternate were keep pressuring them. And Tompinai Empire at some point did some mistakes, and Alternate were able to take an advantage out of that. So let's see if Indian Clashers can do that as well. And I feel like so far Indian Clashers are so impressive. Over the tournament, they improved so much. I feel like if you would compare teams from how they started the tournament and up to now, I feel like Indian Clashers, out of all of the last 4 teams, have done the best job in improving every single round. So really, really big shout out to them. And let's hope that it's somehow enough to push even further, because so far their biggest strength actually was the base building. And now it's up to Tompinai Empire to maybe show that their offense is better than the base building of Indian Clashers. But I mean, at least once the Indian Clashers were able to defend Tompinai Empire. Now we have React coming in with another Queen Charge Hybrid.
Yeah, and I feel there's so many things we could talk about here, because like you said, Indian Clashers now just offensively putting up so much pressure, and we've only seen Tompinai fall behind once, and that was to Alternate, where they did end up losing the war. So maybe that is, that's happening here, or they could spin it around, because this is the most important attack for them. If this is a 3-star, they could certainly still get this, but if it's not, it's not really going to happen for them, I feel, given the momentum Indian Clashers are on. The Queen Charge, though, has taken down the Town Hall. It's going pretty flawlessly at the moment in terms of the funneling. He will be raging momentarily as she approaches the inside of the base here. Still has two super wall breakers, so just waiting on the timing because the deployment's a little bit tricky here. They will go to the outside compartment first, but I feel he's wanting them in towards the center.
Yeah, but there's the first wall break. The second wall break might work to get the Expo if he's angling that correctly, or maybe he just wants to get into the multi-film tower and wall break like into this connection in between of the multi and the arch tower. But now there's, the Queen has completely different plans than Riak has. I feel like he is starting his hybrid on the right side to push his Queen back into the right direction, but she's just too quick in taking that wall down, and now we have the Queen being stuck on that wall. And the same thing is happening to the King. The King is walking inside, and this now is a huge problem. And now we can see the gold storage. Those storages are actually so key for base building. If you guys are wondering why, those storages are there to split off the Hawks and the miners, because the miners are stuck, the Hawks are pushing forward and running into traps, spraying traps whatsoever. It didn't work out that great because a lot of storages were taken down by the Queen. And that, I guess, once again, great that she stepped in. But the King now is slowly catching up and not doing a whole lot at this point.
Yeah, he's just struggling through the center of the base. We kind of had a lot of giant bombs in the middle where he had to commit all of the spells. Queen goes down to the enemy Queen as well down the bottom, meaning there's a multi-target Inferno surviving, and the Miners and Hog Riders have took so much damage in that most northern compartment where there was yet another multi-target Inferno, but all of the Tesla. He could still get this with the King's ability just going off. He's got a few miners, I think, in there, but this multi-target Inferno alongside the enemy Queen is going to be devastating for him. Trying to send in the minions to help in with cleanup onto the storages. Has one sneaky goblin to try and tank anything moving into the base. King moves in 90+%, but even if his troops survived, he just doesn't have the time here to get through. Oh, Tompinai Empire so close, but yet again, the 2 stars, meaning if Indian Clashers were to 3-star in the next one, they have pretty much secured the 3rd place in this tournament and the $5,000 prize.
Yeah, it's incredible how much Indian Clashers improved. So let's see if they can push this like with a 3-star being kind of final like in the result. They still have to get this one 3 stars to make sure that it's actually happening. Otherwise, Tompinai Empire still has the chance of coming back depending on the next attacks. We already saw a couple of surprising attacks where people like already had the match kind of in their hand, but then somehow struggled to get like a takedown a base with really low percentage, and this already then gave back the advantage to the other team. So let's see if that's going to happen. But either way, being possibly up 2 or 3 stars at this point, this would be GG. So let's see if the next attack is going to make sure that it works. And this is going to be another Super Witch attack. One thing which Indian Clashes so far were really successful on.
They certainly were. Piyush did get the 3 stars with this strategy in the last war. He was the person we referenced, stepping it up and getting the 3-star. We also have Captain Krish Vishnoi left to go, who has got 3 stars throughout the entire tournament. So Indian Clashers just need to hold it together here as Piyush starts with his Grand Warden walk. Very nicely, just taking patiently, not using the healers at all in case there's any mines in that area. That's why the Coco Loon comes in, nicely moving in towards the town hall. And he's just clearing out the buildings, so these Super Witches will go to the town hall, it looks here, Itsu, unless he is going to... Yeah, no, Super Witches coming in towards the town hall and deployed around about the time we would expect.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is there's no wall breaks. Like, he's going to walk around the town hall. He's not going to get into that town hall compartment. And he has no blimp either. So he's going to place the siege barracks on that 9 o'clock side. And now it's all about those Super Witches getting into the base. And I guess he's relying on the Super Witches jumping into the direction. I'm not really sure because this so far looks kind of risky to me, because he might, like, the Super Witches might somehow skip that town hall if they're getting dragged around that town hall. But there is now the jump. Is the jump? No, no. The jump, is the jump connecting?
I think it's missed it again. I think it's one tile away there, Itsu. And he's got the Royal Champion for the Town Hall, but he hasn't necessarily checked that area for traps. There could be anything over there which could get the Royal Champion. We do see some... What is happening? No!
Oh, we already saw earlier today a jump which was misplaced. The greedy jump, I would say. Yeah, and now it's all about the Super Witches and Hawks and everything.
Champion.
But he has an Ice Golem left. He has an Ice Golem left to tank for the World Champ. Never mind.
The Royal
Wait a second.
Champion's down at the bottom
He's
of
going
the
all
base.
in.
He's going all in. I thought he might have just secured the 2, given that they are in the lead.
What?
But he is literally going all in, and I think he's going to get it. No
What?
way! The Queen jumps to the Town Hall. He has the ability. Piyush, what are you doing to us? The Queen will get the Town Hall. He has the ability, the Royal Champion ability, plenty of cleanup troops. And why did we ever doubt this man? 3 stars with plenty of troops left over. And Tompinai Empire must be blown away right now, as we are.
What was that? Like, I mean, we all said, okay, he's going to save that Royal Champion for the town. That's kind of obvious. And he's like, no, I'm going for 3 stars. And then he's placing the Royal Champion at the bottom side of the base. Like, come on, what is going on? Like, oh my goodness, that was a crazy attack, and somehow he got rewarded by this. Staying calm in an attack where I would have probably panicked, and
Me too.
I'm out of words. Like that attack was incredible, and how he saved that. But that's exactly why those guys are pro players, and they make things look easy.
I always say you have to take a risk in order to get the highest rewards. I was so nervous for Indian Clashes there. Given the position they have put themselves in, the last thing you want is a 1-star. I mean, I thought he would have just played it safe for the 2-star, tried to hold this out, allow Krishvish Noy to have a better chance of the 3-star, but I guess he just wanted to secure it now and there and then. I mean, there's nothing else to say. I'm totally speechless. And Riga Torres just, I mean, even if he 3-stars, Indian Clashes just then need the 2. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and now we have the next Queen Charge Hybrid. I feel like Queen Charge Hybrid so far was the most successful strategy in this tournament. I feel like this strategy is so versatile. And I have to say I'm kind of surprised by this, because in the current meta we see most of the time 3, maybe even 4 ground expos. And having a ground strategy being that successful is showing how powerful this strategy is. So let's see if Rigo Torres is being able to like push this to a 3-star, because so far there's a lot of damage on his queen with facing the clan caster as well. And then, yeah, facing the Town Hall once again. He had already to invest 2 rages at this point to get through all of this. And the Hound just popped.
He should be getting to the Town Hall momentarily, but he's sneaking in sneaky goblins to the top of the base alongside that wall breaker as well. So it seems once the Queen is done there, he just wants her to walk back out of this compartment maybe. Still struggling to get that Town Hall Itsu. It finally falls and the hybrid can now be deployed. There's a lot of major defenses in the middle that the hybrid will have to deal with here, and the pathing is not necessarily ideal either as we move forward. Scattershot now locks on. Multi also in that range with potential of giant bombs. There is one, but thankfully it was just a single Hog Rider that set that off. He has had to use the heal spell, but everything going down. Nothing to that scatter. Queen also down at this stage. If Riga Torres could save this, then I would be lost for words yet again for the 99th time in this tournament, Itsu.
Yeah, the healer switched over actually, which isn't the worst thing, but now it's all about the back end, and the enemy queen is still alive. The miners need to switch over. The scatter is being alive as well, and he has no more hybrid troops at the bottom side of the base, so the scatter, nothing is targeting that scatter except the Royal Champ, but she's about to go down. And I think, at least this time, we won't see a crazy save of the attack, because I feel like the Queen had to use so many rages in the beginning, or like, wait, is this? No, wait. The scatter is going. The scatter is going down. The wizard tower is tanked by the warden. A couple of mines are at the top side. No, don't tell me that this is going to work.
The wizard tower at the top will surely take down the miners. Imagine if the super wall breaker took down the wizard tower, though. Oh my goodness. From end to end stuff here in Clash of Clans. The royal champion nearly got the scatter shot, but it means that Indian Clashers now just need a star to take third place in this tournament, win their $5,000 prize, and also it means they have beaten Tompinai Empire, who, I will say it again, they did beat them last year. They were the reason that Indian Clashers didn't get into the World Championship finals. So this must feel very good for them, particularly that we are moving into a brand new season here for the World Championships.
Yeah, that has to be indeed a great feeling. But at the same time, I feel like we still should wait for the attack, because after the last attack of Indian Clashers, we should wait for the result. Except if they're going once again for like super crazy risky attack, which they just did. So we should not jinx it at this point. But I feel like you're right. Obviously, they're in a pretty good position. Let's put it like this. So still, I'm super excited to see what Indian Clash is going to bring up next. It is once again the Super Witches. And after the last attack, I have to say I'm kind of scared to see what is about to happen.
Well, he's starting with the Grand Warden Walk, and given that there's no storages in this area, yes, there's some either side of the Town Hall, but it looks to me like he's trying to snipe the Town Hall here with the Grand Warden, which would at least give them the security of the 1 star and that victory. So let's find out if that is going to be the plan, as the Warden is slowly just shredding the buildings on the inside. Now we see the jump spell, making sure not to misplace it, but actually we are totally wrong again. Indian Clashers continue to surprise us. Super Witches directly into the base, but I'm more than confident at this stage that he will get that Town Hall. Maybe he just wants everything down there just in case of the very unfortunate disconnect. He could still get that Town Hall and the star.
Yeah, raging up everything, but so far nothing is going for that Town Hall except this one Super Witch. Now we have the Super Witches slowly making their way into their Town Hall compartment with the Warden ability. That should go down easily, even though we have on the left side the one witch going down. Now the Queen delayed getting placed. There was something which we have seen a couple of times by the Indian Clashers, which is kind of surprising to see them then delay the Queen so long. And this is the 1 star which they needed to already get into the finals, but still they want to finish off this match with a 3 star. And obviously we want to see that Krishnoy is going into the final with still keeping his perfect hit rate, which he so far had over the tournament.
Yes, and moving into this year's World Championships, they want to have as much confidence as possible. Not that they couldn't after their incredible performance throughout this World's warm-up. The Super Witches are struggling in the center of the base. I think this one is just too much for Indian Clashers to turn around, but he has probably thrown his phone across the room, celebrating at this point, Itsu, because Indian Clashers have won this matchup. They are taking 3rd place in the World's Warm-Up Tournament, and again, that $5,000 prize. We will have the grand final coming up in a moment, but let's keep our focus on the well-deserved 3rd place of Indian Clashers. They are finishing off this base. 64% it is, but Krishnoy knew he only needed that 1 star. So fantastic performance. I feel both of their matches today is really where I have seen the best of Indian Clashers. And there you have it confirmed that they are this match's winner.
Yeah, congrats to them taking the 3rd seed, and obviously the huge momentum boost going into this new season of the Clash Worlds Championship, which is going to start soon. And especially in this way, like, they were able to beat Queen Walkers, one of the tournament favorites. They were able to beat Tompinai Empire, which